Today we're going over triceps, specifically my thoughts on locking out different exercises, as well as problems and mistakes I see a lot of people have. And remember, if you have a totally different way of doing things and that's working for you, great. This is just my experience. That means it's 100% fact, so go to hell. All right, let's start with the big question, should you lock out your triceps? And for me, other than the rare exceptions on certain exercises, it is a resounding no. And I know I'm gonna get people in the comments hop in and cite some case study that says you get more connection by fully locking out the tricep. But here's the thing, as I've gotten older, I've started to question everything. Like these case studies, who's involved, who's in charge. I mean, think about all the people that go to your gym, even specifically think about the trainers. How many of those trainers teach phenomenal form? And of those, how many are not just good educators, they're also good practitioners, meaning they get the results they're trying to teach other people to get. If there is a few, they're the exception, they're not the standard. All right, I'm gonna use bench dips to illustrate this. So what I want you to do is do a set of full reps, all the way down, all the way up, lock it out, push it to failure. Take some rest, come back, do 3/4 reps. All the way down, 3/4 of the way up, push it to failure. See how you feel. Everybody I've done this on, the amount of muscular pain they get from those 3/4 reps compared to the full is not even close. And I know that's not the best judge of whether or not you're gonna get results, but in my experience, the more often you can inflict that much muscular pain to a point where your body says, please stop, the more growth you're going to get. All right, let's go through some of the common mistakes I see people make. And on extension style movements, it's not driving through the right path. And an easy analogy just to relate it to is not thinking of their elbow as a hinge. And I get it because this looks cool, but driving away on that same path is going to get less engagement out of that tricep than actually using your elbow as a hinge and flexing over top of it because, yeah, you're going to start the contraction the same way. You're going to be flexing away, but after a certain point, about halfway, a little bit further, it's going to change directions. You're going to pull back in towards your body, and the key word is pull because you're actually going to feel like you're pulling back in. That's going to get more engagement. It's going to get more growth. Another issue I see is with skull crushers. A lot of people like to take that 90-degree angle with their elbow, but the issue with that is the top portion of the movement ends up being the easiest part of the contraction. A couple ways you can fix that. The first being moving that elbow back even just slightly will change how hard this movement is. So before, when you're coming up and the easiest part of the contraction was the top and you really lose some of that force from gravity, now with that slight move back, you can see the finishing part of that contraction is actually the hardest part. Or if you're an extremist, you can put your arm practically straight up, almost parallel to the bench. And this is one of those rare movements where locking it out actually is a benefit. Now, if you're somebody whose shoulders suck and even just slightly moving those elbows back causes pain, discomfort, you can't even connect with those triceps, don't worry, I got you. One thing I've noticed from working with people who have this issue is if you put them on a slight incline, puts less stress on their shoulder, they're able to push that elbow back even just slightly further to really take advantage of the increased intensity at the top of the contraction. All right, so this next one's for the person who keeps their wrist flexed up the entire time. You don't want to go down that road, brah. I'm just going to apologize in advance. A lot of my youth was spent with Dog the Bounty Hunter marathons, hence the Halloween costume. And I've said this before, you're going to flex that wrist down to the concentric part of the movement and then back up towards you during the eccentric. And all that is a physical trigger based upon how you flex that forearm that tells that tricep it's time to work. As always, like, subscribe with the notification bell. Quick question. I found this one spot that's got a lot of potential to be a great gym filming studio. I'm going to deck it out with one line of equipment. So do me a favor, leave a comment below with your favorite line of gym equipment. And as always, get after it, get growing. Talk to you soon.